All right, welcome everyone to the First Rocketcast, and it's great to have you guys here today. My name's Nick Ruda, and this is the podcast of crypto, finance, and fitness. So, why crypto, finance, and fitness, or really crypto and fitness, is because I'm a true believer that you cannot have true wealth without being healthy and also being financially free. That's because if we zoom out and you're, in your later years and you're extremely wealthy, but you're in very poor physical health, you're going to find that you would pay any amount to be fit, to be able to go for a jog with your dogs or play with your grandkids. So, in my opinion, you're not truly wealthy at that point. Um, you're at the hands of other people. You're relying on other people to keep you going, to, those pills to keep you being able to move around, your blood pressure medications to keep you alive, whatever it is. And in the same breath, if we zoom out and you're in great physical condition, but you have very poor finances, you're going to be stressed. You're going to be anxious. You're going to be looking for that next paycheck. You're not going to be living a prosperous life, and you're not going to be truly wealthy. You need to have a certain amount of wealth to be financially free. So that's what the Rocket Cast is all about. I want you to be able to get takeaways from our podcast on how to be in better shape, what people who are doing both, who are truly wealthy, what they do, what their routines look like in order to make sure that they're both physically and financially fit. We'll call it. So, who am I to speak on these topics? Well, I am 27 years old. I have been a gym owner for 5 years now, and I've worked out probably 4 to 5 days a week every week since I was 13 years old. So that's my background. I was in poor physical health as a young kid. So when I was a little kid, I was very overweight. And I've been over 180 pounds since I was in sixth grade. And I hit a point where I realized like I can't do certain things that other kids can do. I can't play sports at the level that I want to because of my weight. So I took it upon myself. One summer, I started running and I would run a mile 4 or 5 days a week. And I started paying attention to what I was eating. And then, I noticed as I started to lose weight, like, oh, I was a little happier. I didn't get made fun of as much. I felt more confident that when I did get made fun of, like, I would push back against the kids that were making fun of me. And I realized that, you gain a lot of confidence when you are fit. So I stuck with it, and it led me to where I am today, which is helping others achieve physical fitness. Because I believe that when you're physically fit and you feel better, you put out a better vibe to everybody else. You're in a better mood. You're more helpful to your family. You're more helpful to your neighbor. You're a better employee. You're a better boss, which in turn makes the whole world a much better place to be. So I believe on a cellular level, I'm helping people become a better version of themselves so that they can go on and help other people be better versions of themselves and help spread positivity around this world because we absolutely need it. Now, my background in finances has always been that I have always questioned the status quo. All right. So I've always, looked at people who had a lot of money or were doing really well for themselves or just really happy. And like, what are they doing to get themselves there? Or, making sure that there's two different coins to that sides of the coin to that. There's people who are financially free and they still have to plug into a 9 to 5 every day. They are still slaves to the clock. They're financially free, but their time isn't free. And so that was something that I always could acknowledge and I wanted to separate from was trading time for money all the time. Like you can still be making a very good income and trading your time for money. And as soon as you stop trading your time for money, well, now what happens? You're now in a position where you can't do the things you want. You can't take those vacations. You can't spend extra time with your kids. You can't go on an adventure spontaneously that you want to because you are a slave to the clock. So at a really young age, I acknowledge that that's something that I don't want to fall into. I want to be able to do what I want when I want. All right. That is financial freedom to me. So that pushed me in the direction of being an entrepreneur. So I am someone who, was always trying to be innovative to make a quick buck, whether it was, selling Xbox Live gamer tags, because, I do really well on a video game and sell my accounts that someone else could take my prestige Call of Duty account, whatever it was. Um, as I got older, I got into investing. I went to school for business, and a couple years into business school, I realized, hey, you know, I've learned a lot of good skills, but it's just not worth it for me to finish this. I can go into the real world and learn what I need to learn without having to rack up a tab of debt. So that's where I got into the gym space. I started a company with my former boss. We called it the Travel Wad. That was my first real step into entrepreneurship. We were building an app so that people could do online fitness from anywhere in the world, mostly for CrossFit. So you would be able to choose what equipment you had available, and then we'd give you a workout based on that. Now that company ended up fizzling out, but that was my first taste of entrepreneurship. Truly, like, investing into something, trying to create something that can work for me while I'm don't necessarily need to be there. And I've continued on into that, and understanding that my dollars need to work for me. I need to have assets that can make me money even when I'm not there, or when I'm sleeping. So that's what I'm trying to do with my gyms. I want my gym to be able to produce money while I'm not here. Same thing with my investments. I learned from a young age that, hey, I can own a share of a company, and if this company is successful and doing well, it's going to make me money without me having to do anything. So I got into stocks, options real young. When I was probably 18 is when I opened up my first TD Ameritrade account. I taught myself options probably about 4 years ago is when I really started getting into options a lot. And that's where I had the most success, was buying options. And I was pretty good in timing that, the fact that I got into Tesla options in 2019, 2020, which you couldn't go wrong with. And I've always been a bit of a visionary, and realizing and questioning, taking a step back and saying, hey, what is money? Right? Like, money is this thing that we created and that we've all agreed upon is a way for us to put a value on energy, right? My sweat equity, or this product that I'm creating that is taking a certain amount of energy and producing a certain amount of energy. But really, it's just a made up agreement, right? So money can be produced from anything, it can come from anything, it can turn into anything. And that's what makes crypto so interesting, is it's a new way of separating money. In crypto, a lot of crypto is decentralized, right? And I think a lot of times the problem with money right now is that it's so centralized, and that it creates opportunity for a very, very small amount. Most people are a slave to the dollar, all right? And I want people who are following the Rocket Cast to break away from that, to break away from the matrix. I don't think you need to be a slave to the dollar anymore in today's world, especially as crypto becomes bigger and bigger. And I think a lot of people recognize the opportunity that it's pushing the status quo. And that's why it is probably the biggest threat to our dollar, to the way things are, is cryptocurrency. Um, it's a way for us to cut out the middleman in a lot of everyday transactions, which gives more money at the end of the day to more of the general population. All right, to those who haven't taken all those steps to separate themselves, who didn't maybe create that true time freedom and financial freedom. And crypto is a way of us taking that back. And that's what I really like, is it pushes the status quo. And in a certain way, that's how I've always felt fitness, or what fitness does, right? It pushes the status quo. If you're fit, you have autonomy in your life, and you can do what you want, and you're not at the mercy of others because you are physically fit. You're not relying on other people to keep you moving, to get you up in the day, to go to the bathroom, whatever it is. Fitness allows that in your life for you. So um, I wanted to merge these two things that I really value together. So the guests that I bring on to this show, we're going to talk about both. And with a lot of those people, I imagine that, what I generally have found throughout my life is the people who are truly wealthy have a good fitness routine. They have something that's keeping them disciplined, that's helping them break a sweat so that they can unplug, not just, because it is great for you to get exercise in, to clear your mind, to have an hour or two where you're not thinking about your daily stresses, what your problems are, what you have to do, what's going on at work, and just truly unplug. And then I've also noticed that a lot of people that are really fit that I look up to are also pretty wealthy. They have a lot of money. So what did they do to become financially free? And these are the things that I want to talk about, and mostly finding people who are in the crypto space, because I believe that it is the cutting edge and it is where things are trending. I don't think crypto is going away. So I want to hear their opinions on it, what parts of crypto they're invested, because there's a lot of different flavors out there in the crypto community. So trying to get their insight on it. And I want to do this at a way that people who are not super familiar with fitness or crypto can have some takeaways and learn about it. We want to talk on a level where you guys can understand it and start to learn stuff and hopefully help get you involved into this industry. Now, this is not financial advice on this podcast. It is simply for entertainment and educational purposes. And I think you're going to find that a lot of people that you may not have imagined are doing really well with their crypto investments, that they are, see it as the future. And so I got into CrossFit because I realized at a certain point, like, this is where fitness is trending, like functional fitness. It makes a lot of sense. I used to bodybuild when I was younger, but I'd be like, yeah, my shoulders are getting so much stronger. My bench is so much stronger. I can squat a little bit better. And, my legs look good and my chest is big, but it didn't necessarily carry over, and I still felt achy. A lot of the issues that I had with my knees or my back, they didn't necessarily feel better than when before I started working out. But now when I switched to doing CrossFit, that started to change. I felt like, wow, I have better balance, I have better coordination, I'm faster, I can jump higher, I can run longer, I'm more explosive. And I could tell that this is where fitness was heading. And I was an early adopter. I started doing CrossFit in probably 2012, 2013, or at least high intensity interval training. And now I still do that to this day. A lot of people probably, and at first I was a doubter. I thought CrossFit was a little bit of hoopla. I thought it was a little bit outrageous. It didn't make sense. Why are you lifting heavy weights fast for time? It seems like you're going to hurt yourself. And then as I got into it, I realized that a lot of these were just myths and things that you see on TV or on YouTube. And it's not necessarily when you go to a box and you actually go in there and you take a class, you're going to have a much different experience. It's actually a very coordinated, well thought out, planned um, training plan that can maximize results in a lot of different areas like cardiovascular, strength, endurance. I think the best thing about it is it's a very well-rounded program. So no matter what it is that you want to do right now or later on in life, functional training is going to prepare you for that. And I think that's why a lot of people enjoy it. And I think that's why it's taken off. It's the most popular training program that there's ever been. Now, with crypto, again, it's the same thing. At first, I was a bit of a doubter in crypto. I thought, okay, well, it's a little outrageous to just say, hey, we're going to use this new money from now on. And not only that, but the government's not going to be involved in it. And we're going to cut out all the middlemen. And it's just going to be internet money. And you don't really have anything to show for it. I can't bring around an actual wallet. I don't have a credit card to pay with it. It seemed a little pie in the sky. But now here we are, in some cases about 10 years later. And I've been actively using crypto to buy things for years now. I've invested in crypto for, well over 4 or 5 years now. And I've done really well with those investments. But honestly, what is the most appealing is that we're at that same stage where when I had just finally realized, okay, like functional fitness is the way things are going, is cryptocurrency is the way things are going. Web 3.0, as we call it. So for those of you who don't know, Web 1.0 is like early days, like AOL broadband, people like just getting into email, companies having real basic websites, MapQuest. That is Web 1.0. Web 2.0 is where social media dominated. It's where we still kind of are. Big companies like Facebook, Amazon, Instagram, whatever, they kind of run the internet. They monopolize all their money based off people's data, using your personal data, selling it for ads. And that's been kind of Web 2.0. And I think a lot of us have found that we've kind of hit a point now where it's very stagnant. You can tell you're getting taken advantage of. It's almost unhealthy, our obsession with social media, with getting likes, with scrolling all day aimlessly, not really getting too much from it, no takeaways, information overload, a ton of people telling you what to do, but you not go ahead and doing anything. And now Web 3.0 is going to be built even further. So it's going to be taking almost a decentralized approach to the internet. Um, Hopefully that means, social media losing a little bit of its power and grasp on our everyday lives, and then the integration of cryptocurrency NFTs with that. And I think it's really promising. I think it's going to create a unique experience where people are going to be more intertwined with each other, hopefully developing healthier relationships online, communicating at a more basic level of understanding and respect. And I think crypto has a way of enabling that. Something just as simple as making sure that only verified people can use certain Web 3.0 apps. So that way you're not dealing with bots, you're not getting fed disinformation all the time. And I think it has a good chance of bringing us back together. And I think crypto will be a part of that. So, as our transactions become more and more online, we can use things like Ethereum, Bitcoin to process those transactions. I think people are going to be more comfortable holding value with cryptos. And as it continues to happen, we're going to see more and more adoption. I think the first house was sold in April using Ethereum. It was entirely paid for in Ethereum. And we're going to see more and more of that in the coming years. So if you're a follower and a listener of this show, you're going to be hearing some of those latest stories. You're going to be hearing how everyday people are using crypto in their lives to make money, to make transactions, how it's bettered their lives. And it's not only faster, it's more efficient, it's more secure, but it's also, we understand how it works. And I don't think a lot of people understand how the current currency system works. The fact that we printed about 50% or 40%, whatever it is, of the current money in circulation was printed in the last 3 years. People don't understand the effects that that has until it's too late, which is right now when we're experiencing mass amounts of inflation and economic crisis. So as you listen to the show, you're going to find out more and more about crypto, and you still have a chance to be an early adopter. As we look at the S curve of adoption, right, it always comes up really fast, drops a little bit, and then it skyrockets. Same thing. People doubted the internet, people doubted Google, people doubted Amazon, Facebook, even. And now you look at it, you can't even picture your lives without these things. And I think you're going to realize the same thing with crypto in the next 5 to 10 years. In 10 years from now, crypto will be an everyday part of your life. It will be so normal. It's going to be used for everything. And you still have a chance to be an early adopter. And that gives you the ability to put your dollars to work for you so that you can invest your money into Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever it is now. And in 10 years from now, you can only imagine what your dollar will be worth, or however we're going to measure our currency, how much that Bitcoin is going to be worth. So that is really, to sum it up, what the Rocketcast is all about. It's about pushing the status quo, creating true wealth for yourself, which means fitness and financially being healthy. All right. Um, and each of the guests that I bring on are going to demonstrate that in some sort of capacity. And I'm sure we're going to find some guests who probably lack in one or the other, or it's not their strongest suit. And I think it's a great opportunity for us to discuss that and have some key takeaways. So I look forward to you guys joining us for our first couple shows. They'll be coming out here soon, and be sure to share this to your social media, push it out there. I really appreciate it, and let's go. Keep rocking on, guys.